Looks like we're live, and what's up everyone, Willie Apple here. So, for some reason, I have a hard time believing all these leaks about Mark Gurman. The iOS 26 leak, the macOS name leak, because this has never really happened before. We never got any insight about the macOS name leak. And I have a weird theory that these leaks are being used to try to get somebody. What? Tahoe? Yeah, because I'll explain that in a bit. Because I have a feeling that all these leaks are trying to get somebody fired at Apple for leaking this information, and I think they may have narrowed it down. So hello, because if we go to let me do this. Okay, so macOS 16 potential names. So if we see the potential macOS names, so okay, not that. This will list all the names that Apple has trademarks for. So California, Condor, Diablo, Farfellen, Grizzly, Mammoth, Miramar, Pacific, Red Hill, Redwood, Rincon, Shasta, Skyline, and Tiburon. I just saw the animations in X. What do you mean? Okay. So, what the name we have is not here. Actually, just go here and where is it? It's a lot of Mac rumors. All right, Tahoe is not on this list at all. So if we were to go here, there's no Tahoe right here. So, wait a minute. I thought I fixed that. One sec. I'm gonna look in here. Sorry about that. I thought I fixed that. I'm just gonna... Alright. Let's see if that changes the thing. It's just YouTube just telling me to do that. Yeah, you see... Oh, you see HomeKit right now? Let's see. Yeah, sorry about that. Oh yeah. macOS screen capture, display capture. You know what? We're just going to do application capture, and let's just do Safari. Alright, so now you should hopefully see Safari in here, because this is where we're going to be doing most of our stuff. Alright, so thank you. Alright, so the teaser animation, okay. So, where in here is macOS Tahoe? Now, this could all be very wrong, and I could just be being stupid, but where in here is macOS Tahoe? Gurman has been leaking Apple for the past couple of years at this point, and he's been correct in a lot of them, unfortunately for some of them. So, if we were to look in here, where do we see Tahoe? Nowhere. So it's either that Apple is actually trying to change the name, or Apple is, well, Apple's trying to use this name, and they're trying to gain the rights to it as soon as possible, which has never really happened before. I think they did it with Monterey, maybe, but I could also be wrong about, actually, Apple's owned Monterey for a while, so... Alright, so I really don't think we're going to be getting Tahoe right here, because it's not on this list. Like, these are the names Apple owns. So if anybody were, like, if Microsoft were to make Windows Grizzly, they legally cannot. Windows Mammoth, they can't. Windows California, they can't. So Apple owns these, and they can't just... And Microsoft just can't use them. Android can't use them, for example. So that's basically what these are. And I'm sure that Microsoft would go go Windows Tahoe if they could, but I'm not saying they will, but I'm just saying if they did, they could just legally take it. Now, the next thing is, if we were to go to, actually, I'm just going to go back to Mac Rumors right here. Scroll down. Actually, I could filter by, Mac Rumors Gurman. Alright. So if we were to just scroll down, I have a feeling all these leaks are fake for some reason. And they just sent an email to a bunch of Apple people and like the next name of iOS is going to be iPhone OS 19. The next name is going to be iPhone OS 25, iOS 25, iOS 26. So they're narrowing it down. So they sent it to like 10 different people at once. For example, like the same iOS 26 thing. And since they said that, let's see, where is it? Siri, iOS 19. Oh, I activated Siri on my iPad right there. I have my iPad right there. Where is it? Unless they didn't put it here. Okay, why is this part of Gurman? Okay, yeah, I don't know why it is not. Oh, this is Mark Gurman articles. Okay. Let's see. I'm just gonna scroll down and find it myself. The iOS 26 thing. Let's see. When was this? iOS 26. I mean, it's now iOS 26. Okay, older. Sorry about the searching, guys. If we just. Alright. I'm just gonna do that. Okay, it's around here. Alright, here it is. So, potentially, I have a weird theory that Apple developers could have just gotten an email saying the next name is going to be iPadOS 25 with iOS 25. Next name is going to be iPhone OS 25. Like, it's just a weird theory that I just been thinking about for a while. Just in case these leaks are wrong, or they're going to use these fake leaks to get somebody fired at Apple. Whoever's leaking all this stuff to Gurman, because Gurman is very reliable. So I don't know if it's going to be multiple people who's been leaking all this time, but this is going to probably potentially get one person fired from Apple. So Tahoe, where's Tahoe on here? Like, this doesn't make any sense unless Apple is constantly working on getting Tahoe copyrighted for them. But yeah, this is my weird conspiracy theory about Mark Gurman. Alright, anybody in the chat want to say anything about this? Like, do you guys kind of agree with me that this is going to be used to get somebody fired at Apple? Hello, Exciting Electronics. Welcome to the stream. Ugh. Also, is the microphone okay? Because I got a new microphone right here, and I just want to make sure the microphone quality is good and you guys can hear me okay. Alright, so we're basically talking about a conspiracy theory because skipping it to 26 seems very weird. It would make more sense for them to skip to 25. And I think Apple could just potentially be using this as like bait to find the leaker at Apple just to fire them, since they signed an NDA. They're not supposed to be leaking things at Apple. Yeah, I also don't think they're calling it iOS 26. I would be very surprised if that is the case. I think it's going to be iOS 19, to be honest. macOS 16. I don't know why I said 17. Like, there's been a lot of memes lately that Yeah, sorry about that. The microphone has the mute button, and I think I might have accidentally touched the top or something. I don't know why this has a mute button. I mean, I guess I need to get used to it, but thank you for letting me know. All right, so what I was saying is that we're talking about Apple is narrowing things down. Universal control, stop doing that. All right, Apple is narrowing things down to find the Apple leaker. First, with iOS 26, I'm saying that Apple could just be saying iOS 25, iOS 19. The next name is going to be iOS 19, iPhone OS 19, iPhone OS 26, iPhone OS 25. And I think Apple's going to be like trying to figure out who is leaking all this information at Apple. And then if we were to go here, this is going to narrow things down even further because all these names are copyrighted. And that, speaking of which, they have all these places in California that they are using, that they can use at any time, basically, and just copyright any time. So the fact that they did a random lake in California named Tahoe is a little bit interesting to see. Now, when I first saw this, I immediately knew something was up, which inspired the stream. Because if Apple's going to be skipping macOS 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, I have a feeling that if they did, they would get rid of Tahoe. Like, they would get rid of the California name and just call it macOS 26, if that was a thing. Just because Apple wants consistency purposes, it seems like. But the fact that they're calling the name of macOS after a California name is a little bit interesting to see. Like, I don't know what you guys think, but the fact that they're naming it Tahoe makes me think that they're trying to narrow it down to find out who is leaking this information to Mark Gurman. And yeah. Do you think it will be macOS 26 Tahoe? I think it's just going to be macOS 16, to be honest. Like I believed the macOS 26 rumor at first, but then when I saw Tahoe and it's not even copyrighted, and the fact that they're giving it a macOS a California name, like I was expecting Craig Federighi to go on stage this year and be like, "We've run out of California names," even though they did not, and it would be a little strange, but it seems like it's the most sense in this situation. What do you think about Tiburon now? I think Tiburon is still a possibility. Like, I think we're going to have a California name for a couple more years. I've been thinking for a while, they're going to run out of California names at some point. They're going to want to stop, just keep things consistent. I'm kind of surprised they didn't do it with Big Sur. So, yeah, I mean, they did say next 10 years. It's already been 10 years. So, yeah, I think Tiburon's a possibility. But I think Redwood's more of a possibility, to be honest. But unless Tahoe gets leaked again, then I think it's going to be Tahoe then. Although, actually, I'm going to hide my camera real fast. Actually, it doesn't even matter. I'm going to open ChatGPT. I'm going to ask it something. Alright. Where is it? Here it is. Video. Oh, no. macOS screen capture. We're going to try display capture. Okay. It seems to be working this time. Where's my chat? Okay. Has Apple released the name of macOS before they trademarked it? Apple does not usually release the name of macOS before trademarking it. In fact, Apple typically trademarks potential macOS names well in advance. See what I mean? Yeah, Tiburon seems kind of weird. Simple clean, but they jumped to 26. Nah, that's messy. Feels fake. I'm out. Android time. Okay. So, macOS Yosemite. Oh, wait. It often registers trademarks through shell companies like Yosemite Research LLC to conceal its intentions. These trademarks are often filed months or years in advance before the name is revealed at WWDC. Only after the trademark is secure, Apple will publicly announce the name, usually at the WWDC keynote, and Mojave trademark before, Ventura trademark filed before announcement. has Apple trademarked Tahoe? It has been rumored, but it isn't trademarked. Okay, I misspelled it. Alright. So, ChatGPT is going to be searching the web. Craig always makes it sound like the upgrade changes are natural. He seems to keep everyone entertained and distracted from all the chaos. Yeah. I wonder if he's going to talk about Apple Intelligence at all. It would be like, even though the crack marketing team needs a bit more time or something. Like, I'm curious to see. As of now, there's no public evidence that Apple has trademarked the name Tahoe. Apple typically secures trademarks and potential macOS names well in advance, often through shell companies like Yosemite Research or Coast Research. These trademarks are usually filed quietly and are often discovered by industry observers prior to official announcements. The recent leaks to macOS Tahoe for the upcoming macOS 26 results by Mark Bloomberg suggest a departure from Apple's usual practice. So yeah, it's kind of weird. Even ChatGPT thinks something is suspicious about this. It's possible that Apple is either handling a trademarking process differently this time, or has chosen not to trademark the name at all. Okay. With a publicly accessible trademark filing, it's challenging to confirm the status of the Tahoe name. Given that WWDC 25 is imminent, we can expect official confirmation of the new macOS name soon. Until then, the use of Tahoe remains speculative without the backing of trademark filing. Okay, I'm going to ask ChatGPT this. Apple is also rumored to be calling iOS 19 iOS 26 now. Same with macOS 16 to Mac OS 26. Do you think someone at Apple could be giving false info to the employee, leaking stuff to Gurman to try to find who is doing it? That's a very plausible theory. Okay. Craig is the only reason Apple events are fun. Seems like Tim Cook is just too caught up in his wording and presenting style, just the way I interpret it. Alright. Hello, somebody. Welcome to the stream. Alright. Apple has reportedly used false information internally to identify leakers, especially when it's inside this company. These tactics are often referred to canary trapping. Here's how it works. Different employees or departments are given slightly different versions of sensitive info. If someone leaks, Apple can trace it back to the specific person or group that had that version. Okay, ChatGPT could be wrong, though, and there's no way to find the truth, to be honest. I know, but we're using ChatGPT for research purposes. We're trying to see if my theory can be correct. Alright. iOS 26 and macOS 26 rumors. The rumor that Apple may rebrand iOS 19 as iOS 26 and macOS 16 as 26 seems suspicious. Especially, it would be a sudden and unexplained jump in numbering that Apple has never done before with iOS or macOS. It aligns exactly with watchOS 11 and watchOS 26. Okay, that's not the right version. tvOS 26 is very plausible, but jumping OSs would risk users' confusion. Do you think the code name macOS Tahoe iOS 20? It could be a code. I thought we had a. I thought we had a code name. Oh, it's called Cheer. Yeah, so we already have a code name for macOS 26. Maybe just to hide details about the real software. If it's called macOS California, I'm packing my bags and moving into system settings. That name's no good. Even my MacBook would grow a mustache and start surfing. Just try to make sense of it. Yeah, a lot of this just doesn't make any sense to me. Especially because they're going to jump from visionOS 2 to visionOS 26, supposedly. And ChatGPT seems to agree with me. It aligns with watchOS 11 to 26. That would just make a huge jump and confusion. It's real, it's bait, or it's misinterpreted internal test naming. where 26 might refer to internal build ID or milestone, not the public-facing version. Okay, ChatGPT gave me something else to think about. What is the latest version of the Darwin kernel? Alright, so Wikipedia here should tell us right here. Oh, so it's 24. I thought it was 25, not 24. Okay. Alright, so never mind. I was thinking that Apple was using the Darwin's operating system. So, because Darwin is actually owned by Apple. It's like the internal operating system inside the operating system, if you know what I mean. And it's like the kernel of macOS right now and iOS and all that. I think the years of release would be better. The years of release would be better personally. Still doesn't make sense for Apple as a whole. Yeah, Darwin is the core stuff of macOS, similar to how NT is Microsoft's kernel. Darwin is Apple's kernel. So I was thinking that it could just be like an internal name. And I thought Darwin was on 25, but I guess it's going to be 25 this year. So, yeah, so currently, yeah, so Darwin's used on iOS, Vision OS, basically any operating system Apple owns right now. And, yeah, so Darwin is the internal core stuff of macOS. So, alright. Darwin 8.01 released in 2005. I mean, we don't really care about that. Alright, back to this. So, what could the test naming be? I was thinking Darwin, but Darwin is at version 24 right now. Alright. By the way, do you know if Chinese people got the unreleased motherboards for MacBooks and iPhones? What? I don't think they would be able to. Alright. Darwin is currently at version 24, and it's usually close aligned with macOS True System on the hood. But Darwin's at 24, yeah. So I was thinking Darwin's at 25, but I was wrong about that. Alright, so there's also XEDU. Apple. Okay. So there's also XNU version. Alright. So XNU, X is not Unix. Oh, I never knew that XNU stands for X is not Unix. So, I guess it doesn't give us a version of XNU. So, yeah, turn on dark mode, Wikipedia. Alright. But could you quickly explain the way you designed and set up encoded the 24/7 live stream you have this year? I'll do it at the end of the stream. Just remind me before I end the stream and I'll talk about it. No, someone got from the factories. So somebody found motherboards at the factories. I mean, it has happened before, like especially like the prototypes. Like it has happened before. Internal codenames Scar, Psy, Tempo, Jasper. These often have version identifiers attached are totally unrelated to the market name or Darwin version. So, 26 iOS fork internally, Project 26, a numbered milestone for QA or SDK development. So, this is more common with Windows, but there are milestone builds of certain Windows versions. So, for example, there's milestone 3 of Windows Longhorn, for example. You might understand that. And like milestone 7 just got really buggy that they just reset it. Okay, yeah, prototypes. Okay, so this could be potentially what it is, like version 26 of the internal build. I kind of do this with Willy Widgets as well. Like I started doing it with Willy Widgets, but not with Willy Steady quite yet. But I will with Willy Steady. And the person copied and unpacked the system files. He found out that Apple might be making the... Okay, that's where that M3 Ultra MacBook Pro leak came from. Although the M3 Ultra doesn't make sense in 2025. Like, if Apple is going to have M3 Ultra, You might as well just have released it last year, like with the M3 Pro and M3 Max MacBook Pros. Personally, how I feel about that is that the M3 Pro and M3 Max are for the MacBook Pros, and M3 Max and Ultra are for the Mac Studios, and the Ultra chips and potential Extreme chips are for the Mac Pros. So, Gurman said it's entirely possible that there will be no mention of Apple Intelligence this year. Do you think he'll be right? Alright, so Apple, there's also another rumor by Gurman that Apple will be opening up Apple Intelligence, letting Apple use the, what do you call it? The large language model. So, if you search up prompts injecting, Apple Intelligence, okay, there's this video right here. I'm gonna pause so they can't copyright me. And if you go into here, you'll see, that there was this prompt where you can prompt inject Apple Intelligence by using the rewrite feature. It's actually very smart. So you like looked into macOS code and saw that this means end of instructions and start of new ones, and he just did that. But now it's been patched since iOS 18.4 basically. So if it's called macOS Jasper Cask, and I think it's gets a spotlight WWDC, that's more of a internal name that we were looking at, since that is the recent marketing campaigns that's been Apple's products released mainly. Okay, yeah, so basically Apple Intelligence is just a large language model, and it just runs on device for the most part, which is honestly very impressive to see. But I think Apple could open up their LLM to let other people use their app. So this is basically how they do it. Instead of this, instructions are like, rewrite this to sound a lot better, for example. And that's basically what the rewrite feature does. It's also like, make this more friendly, correct grammar mistakes for the proofread function, and yeah, that's basically what the large language model is, basically, and how it is inside of Apple Intelligence. In fact, with Genmoji, inside of Apple Intelligence, it's basically saying, make this prompt better so an AI can create an image of this. And then it just takes all the current Apple emojis and just makes the emojis look like that. And yeah, so it just makes the prompt a lot better for Genmoji. I think Apple's going to be opening up their LLM so anybody can use it. I think I definitely use it. I think their LLM is pretty good, especially for the use cases I am thinking of. But I won't get into any details about that. But just know, inside of my apps, I'll be using Apple's LLM if they actually do open it up. That's a rumor that they're going to be the Image Playground suck. I think it's because the stuff that they're feeding into Image Playground is not good. Sorry if it seems like at you, but despite seeming like, do you think Apple will bring a simplified version of Apple? I don't think they're gonna bring a simplified version of Apple Intelligence to older devices, because if they did, it'd just be way too dumb for Apple standards. Like, they would need to dumb it down quite a bit, because the phones don't have 8 gigabytes of RAM. So, and yeah, I have a 14 Pro, if you're wondering. Alright. So, I don't even have Apple Intelligence on my phone. I have it on my iPad and basically all my Macs. So, yeah. So, I get to experience Apple Intelligence somehow, but just not with my phone. And let me adjust this so I can see a chat. Alright, so the reason why Image Playgrounds kind of sucks is because, I did have a 16E, but I returned it back to Apple. So if you're wondering why I have a 16E, and I just returned it. Alright. So Image Playground sucks because it has a bunch of images loaded onto your device. So in case you're wondering why all this storage is needed inside of here, let's see. Let's let it calculate a bit. So the reason why it needs all of this storage, 10 gigabytes worth of storage, is because most of it's just images for Image Playgrounds. And unlike with ChatGPT and Imagen from Google, they have access to the entire internet and servers full of images. So, meanwhile, here they don't have a whole lot of images. Basically, most of this is just the large language model Apple uses, and then just a bunch of images for image playgrounds. And how the emojis work is that it takes the emojis. So the reason why Genmoji is really good is because Apple just takes the images of the emojis from all the devices, and since they're already in the device, they could just use them freely, and it doesn't affect the Apple Intelligence storage. I mean, it might a little bit, but basically how like Image Playgrounds and Genmoji both use the same large language model for image creation. Okay, will I be getting an iPhone 17 this year? I've been thinking about it. I wish I could show you, but I'm using my 14 Pro as continuity camera right now. So, basically, I haven't thought about the 17 yet. My back glass is completely shattered though, so Apple can make a 50 gigabyte Apple Intelligence AI for Mac, and then I'll download it. I don't think people would like 50 gigabytes of Apple Intelligence. I think Apple inside of Siri settings right here needs to add a setting to just delete Apple Intelligence, because a lot of people just don't like Apple Intelligence. I personally don't think it's entirely useful. I mean, my girlfriend doesn't think it's entirely useful. Like, I showed her a picture of me from Apple Intelligence, and she's like an artist and everything. One sec. All right. So, as I was saying, wait, I forgot what I was saying. Sorry about that. All right. So, my girlfriend's like an artist and all that, and she doesn't like AI art. I showed her image playground. She said it's the worst of the AI arts right now that she's seen. So, yeah, 50 gigabytes is just way too big. Okay, but I get you have like a terabyte of storage, but inside of here, I got 41 gigabytes free. Yeah, I muted it again. All right. So, I personally would not be downloading Apple Intelligence. I would just do the little method to delete Apple Intelligence manually inside of macOS if that actually did happen, and just not update my iPad, to be honest. If there was actually a 50 or 100 gigabyte Apple Intelligence model that you just could not delete. So, yeah. Alright. Uh, I'm gonna be right back, guys. So, I'll be back in just a little bit. I'm just gonna put a little message just in case more people come in. And I'll be back in a little bit. Alright. I made it back, guys. Alright. Depends how. Well, I guess I'm wondering. Heavy duty video photo rendering. Well, like DeepSeek, there are many models. Yeah, that's right, because you could download DeepSeek and download Llama. I've done it before, except I haven't gotten it working. What I tried doing was I tried having my own Mac app. Like, I tried making a Mac app that just had DeepSeek locally inside, and I just wanted to release that on the App Store for some reason. Except that never ended up happening. Okay, AirPods Max worth buying? No, don't buy. It's a 5-year-old Apple product at this point. Don't buy the AirPods Max. Wait until AirPods Max 2, yeah. I don't know what happened to the AirPods Max second generation, because we were supposed to be getting it, but I guess we just have never gotten it for some reason, and I guess I could remove this. Yeah, go with Beats for now. But, like, I need the best noise cancellation, though. Apple does not have the best noise cancellation, trust. It's like Sony that has the best noise cancellation, but the thing with Sony headphones is that most of those you need to plug it in to USB-C or a headphone jack. So, and in a case, go for it. Alright. Yeah, Sony XM6. I actually don't really look at Sony headphones that much, except I know Sony has the better headphones right now. Their quality is so bad. Yes, I say continue doing your research about which headphones to buy, but just don't buy AirPods Max. They're $550. They may seem good, but the moment you try other headphones not made by Apple, they are 5 years of technology ahead, basically. And if you know anything about technology, 5 years is a lot. Except for Apple, for some reason. Just kidding. Alright. Yeah. Beat Studio Pros. Oh, yeah. I haven't tried Beat Studio Plus. I need to try those one day. The price is fine. I don't care. But you're paying $550 for 5-year-old technology. Just keep that in mind right there. Okay? Alright. Alright, so you guys wanted to know how this probably won't be the end of the stream. I'm going to hide this real fast because I have some sensitive information. I'm just going to go into my hard drive real quick and show you how my live stream countdown works. So, actually I have the app compiled right here. Okay. OBS. Alright. So right here, I have the live stream countdown app. I made this myself, and basically, I'm going to open up the Xcode project as well, because I don't care if you guys copy it, because I'm just using it for stream. All right, Xcodes. Here it is. All right. So here's the Xcode project right here for the live stream countdown, and basically everything's done in this content view. So I have a video player view, and I have all these screensavers. I have 11 screensavers right here, and this is basically it. And this is I tried using the Swift UI video player, but I did not have the features I needed, like hiding the, like having aspect ratio be good, and I forget which one it is that. Okay. So I just had ChatGPT generate this because I don't know any AppKit at all, but ChatGPT basically said I need AppKit in order for the good video players instead of macOS. So I just had this video player view, and I have a countdown timer, which constantly every second changes the current time to be closer to that. And this time, this number represents the time WWDC starts in Unix time, which is every second since 1970. Like, okay. And if we were to scroll down, it's just a text view and then some time blocks. So this is a function that returns a view right here, and this just counts down. So the animation right here, it's just Apple's own built-in animation inside of all their operating systems for their numeric text, and then I just stylized it. And this just plays a video right here. This one was generated by ChatGPT, and I asked it for fading animation as well, except some of it's deprecated right there. So, but for the most part, the rest of this was made by me. So, yeah. And the other one when we'll have AirPods Max 2, I'll say, I think next year is when we can get AirPods Max 2. I don't think this year. I think this year's off the table. But, actually I'm going to have a little countdown right here. Alright. Bring all the front. Yeah, so I think next year is when we will get, another year to wait, yeah. Personally, I think AirPods are good, but the microphone quality on these are so bad. I'm actually going to change the microphone on here real quick. All right, so now you can hear how bad these are, and it's just really bad. I'm going to switch back to the normal microphone. All right, we're back on the normal microphone, so yeah. Don't use Apple's microphone. If you want, I actually don't think AirPods Max microphones are any better, but at least with the Pros, they're really bad. I think Apple should focus on microphone quality, because I've listened to this microphone, and I gotta say, it's been pretty good, so. And the only thing I don't really like is this mute button, because I accidentally press it sometimes, so. But it has RGB. Like, I forget how to activate that. Oh, it's this. Which, kind of useless. It's not. Oh, there it is. All right. So this microphone has RGB. Kind of cool, I guess. Not really necessary. So, yeah, that's why I just got a new microphone, because continuity camera microphone just isn't good. So this is like the first stream I'm actually using it for. First video. Any way to write Python and Xcode? So the thing with Xcode is that it is Apple's native solution for their apps. So it's basically Swift, Objective-C, C++. Not really Python, since Python does not run natively inside of macOS. So it's Apple's native tools, and that's it. I would use Visual Studio if you need a Python thing. Alright. So yeah. Xcode, you can't really write Python. In fact, I actually don't think the Git integration inside of Xcode is good at all, so I just use GitHub Desktop for the Git stuff. So if I know C++, I can use Xcode. Kind of, but you kind of need to know Objective-C, or not even Objective-C. You could know Swift, because I know there's C++ interoperability inside of Swift. So you kind of need to know Swift in order to make a native app. And you'll need to know either AppKit, SwiftUI, or UIKit. Those are the UI frameworks. I personally would recommend SwiftUI for newer Swift developers, but with C++, you kind of need to know Swift as well if you want to use Xcode with it. But but you can get really deep down in Swift as well. It's a low and a high level language, so I call it a hybrid language, if you know what I mean. So, yeah. Don't use Xcode for just pure C++. I think it might be possible, but it's really hard to. Alright. Oh, also with the app, I wanted to show you how big the app is, considering it has all those screensavers as well. Alright, so real quick, I'm going to hide this so I could go inside of my hard drive. It's a secret hard drive, because it has all these screensavers inside of it. So here it is right here. So I did compile it for Universal. Oh, but shoot, I kind of leaked that. Whatever. Okay. I mean, it didn't go deep down in the folders, so I guess it's fine. All right. So it's 1.54 gigabytes because it has all the back screensavers built into it. So, yeah. Alright. Also, I think I'm about to end the stream, guys. Thank you all for coming in. It's been a good 45 minutes, it looks like. And I guess I'll see you at the countdown stream. And we'll also be reacting live to WWDC as well. So stay tuned for that. And the stream should redirect you to the countdown, but if you don't want to watch it, that's fine. And see ya. I think I might go live tomorrow. I haven't decided quite yet, but I will need to think of a topic. So if you guys have any ideas, just let me know in any comment section, any chat, or anything. Discord as well, I guess. And I'll see you in the next stream. Bye.